Well, the Warriors won the finals since our last interview. Do you think at this point Curry just needs to be part of the GOAT conversation? Or do you think he's still being slighted to a certain degree behind like a Jordan or a Kobe?
He's going to always be slighted because he's little. Right? It's like we have this ideal of what a GOAT's supposed to be, and it's like 6'6" and above. And, when it comes to, the smaller guys, you have to do so much more to get the same credit. You got to remember, he's not a highlight reel when it comes to jumping and dunking and all this aerial stuff. He's a floor general. So, he's not gonna, like when you do a highlight reel and you have all the GOATs, you got one that's just purely just mesmerizing on shots.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 6'2".
Yeah.
He's my height.
Yeah.
But what he does on that court, the amount of points that he scores,
I know.
the amount of championships under his belt, like how can you just, how do you take that away?
You ever been to a camp? Kids camp?
What kind of camp?
Just a kids camp.
Yeah, of course.
Whoever camp it is, what is one of the first three questions the kids ask? Can you dunk? I don't care how tall you are. They always want to know, can you dunk the ball?
Okay.
So what ends up happening is if you put the GOATs up there, right, and you have a highlight tape of their whole career, and you had a generation of just kids say, all right, who do you put them in order of who you think the greatest is? Curry goes last because he ain't dunking.
Yeah, I mean,
right? He's not doing what the young kids think about. Like,
yeah, I mean, you're right, because think about what is Michael Jordan's nickname?
Air Jordan.
And the air comes from him
Flying.
dunking.
Yeah.
Right?
His logo.
He's not 3-point Jordan.
Nah.
He's not free throw Jordan. He is air Jordan, which implies that he's in the air as he's about to dunk on somebody. Yeah. That's all that means.
It's the visual.
The visual.
But when it comes to pound, like it's gonna always be pound for pound when they do that pound for pound.
Yeah. Right.
He can consider to be one of the greatest, right. Top 2, top 3.
Like let's go into a different sport. Let's look at boxing. Mm-hmm. Right? I almost feel like Mayweather is like the Steph Curry of boxing.
Yes.
His fights are not that impressive in terms of visually, right? He's not knocking anyone out. He's had a few knockouts here and there, but in general, he'll come in, he'll consistently get all the points, and he'll win.
Yeah.
Every single time. He's 50-something?
55-0.
Yeah. I mean, a few of those fights were exhibitions, but whatever, but he's never lost a fight. Mm-hmm. But you're right. It's watching it is not like a spectacular fight, like a Tyson fight. Mm-hmm. A Tyson fight was exciting, and everyone considered Tyson to be the best ever because he would come in and knock a dude out in 30 seconds. Yeah. And then he would talk about how he wants to eat his children and all types of other crazy shit. And listen, in the heavyweight division, like usually you got to get the belt off the dude's back.
Yeah.
But you're right. Curry will just sit there and be like, no, okay, no highlight reels, but
his highlight reels are amazing for what it is.
Right.
Like when you're talking about dribbling skills and the stuff he does to people, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, when it comes to levels of just men themselves, he's like the king of 6'3" and under. Like, that's how we should do it, right? 6'3", 6'4" and under, Curry's the king.
Okay.
You can't, he's GOAT. He is the GOAT of that 6'4" and under, Curry's the GOAT. And it seemed like that's how you do it, just like Mayweather, because when you talk about the greatest boxers of all time, they're going to go for, mentally, you go for the people who knocked out the most people.
Ali.
Yeah, you're going to go for the people who just battered on people, right? They just brutally just knock people out. And then that's how you do it. Like I heard a boxer say, when they're talking about Mayweather, they said, I won't even put him in my top 5. He doesn't even have enough fights. And I was like, wait, what? He said, man, some of us got 100-something fights. We were fighting 3-4 times a year.
Every year, yeah.
Every year, 4 or 5 times a year. He's won every 3 years, every 2 years, and I didn't even think about it. It's like I'm fighting 3 or 4 times a year. One year I fought 8 times.
Yeah.
And and I had to think about that. Like, so when you start looking at the records, you're like, 55, that's not even, you don't even qualify yet. And I was like, ugh.